welcome to another edition of Focus On. I'm your host, Robbie Solier, and I'm here today with Anthony Currier. He's part of the professional offshore racing team, The Pressure Is On. How are you doing today, Anthony?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Pretty good. All right, I'm just going to ask you a few questions today. First off, could you tell the guests what exactly offshore racing is?
Well, offshore racing has started off like in 1903 in New England, and it started off here in the States with the APBA Offshore Racing Association back in 1905 and 1903, and it progressed into today where it's at right now, with the history going on right now with all throughout the country right now with offshore racing, throughout the river racing, ocean racing. It's probably one of the biggest events going on right now in the country. So there's a lot of organizations going on, so it's a pretty big event.
All right. And how long have you yourself been offshore racing?
I've been in it probably about 20-some years right now. I've been probably an avid boat racer for 25. I ran the blown alcohol drag boats out in California for a few years, and I got out of that and moved back from California up here to Michigan here, and purchased one of my first offshore boats, a Sensation boat, and did really good with that, and won some world champions, national championships with that, and divisional championships, and that's where we started off.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Is it true that you build your own boats now?
Yes. The boat I had was the Sensation was a 24-foot Sensation, and through that racing career I had, we got in a few accidents where we got hurt pretty bad in the boat, so I took off like 5 years of developing the boat I got right now, and I designed a deep V with a canopy system with air in it for safety reasons, you know, because we got thrown out of the boat so many other times. So this boat you're in right now, it's you're in a 5-point harness. It's a safety factor for us. So if you do flip, you're in it. You got medical crew people that will come and get you out of the boat. If you go under, you can go under probably 30, 40 feet for 2-3 minutes, and the scuba diver can come down and get you without having to pull yourself out in case somebody is hurt, and you can help your partner out with an air breathing, you know, aspirator and stuff like that. So it's something that's worked out really good for me. And for future racers too that want to buy the boat or get into the boat because it's something safe. I mean, you can see right now in a lot of racing right now with the open boats, these guys can hit some big waves. They're thrown out of the boat, another boat can come by and hit them. It's happened here in the years. We've lost a lot of racers here in the last few years right now because of that right now. So it's something I recommend maybe in the circuit that all race boats should have canopies, just to save lives.
So the offshore racing is pretty dangerous then, right?
Well, it's really dangerous. I mean, it's pretty rough. You're out there for, you know, a good hour worth of racing, running between 80 to 60, 70 to 130, 140 miles an hour, constant, non-stop racing. So I mean, quick. People can think you can get in a boat and run down the river at 67 miles an hour, but get in there for an hour and a half non-stop, and it's pretty brutal. It's really brutal. I mean, I got some helmet marks where, I mean, this is what we wear right here. This is how much we're throwing around in that boat. I mean, if you can see the chips and everything else, I mean, that's where exactly what happens. So, I mean, that's from us hitting helmets next to my driver in the windows, and I mean, when we're in strapped down too with these harness seats, and that's how much we're beat up in that boat.
It's pretty chipped up if you guys didn't see that. How is your outdrive different than your components? Your competitions?
The outdrive I designed was, I spent a lot of years just researching. I wanted to change it a little bit, you know, without going with the conventional outdrive system. So what I did is I eliminated a lot of mechanical parts from the regular outdrives they have out there. So basically it's a fixed drive unit. It's bolted onto the back of the boat. It's one shaft. It sticks out about 40-some inches. Why I think it's better, and it is better, there's a lot of boats out there with them out there in Europe, like Fabio Buzzi's units and the Budweiser hydroplanes. They run a fixed drive unit, which is no drag on the boat. So you don't have a propeller laying in the water. You don't have the skag and everything laying in front of the propeller, which throws a lot of turbulence, air, and everything else. So what you have is about 3 inches of the prop sitting in the water, and that's it. Then you have the rudder that's offset from the back of the prop, that's offset to the prop, which is, you know, you can turn the boat. The turning aspects are really good in the boat. You can really turn this boat at, say, 80, 90 miles an hour, and it cuts pretty good. So
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it's a drive unit that's it's self-maintenance. I mean, we haven't had a breakdown on with the unit right now. I mean, it took us a lot of years to do a lot of R&D on it, research and development on it. And I mean, there were some problems we had at the beginning, but through the years, we finally aced the project. So it's a pretty well bulletproof unit right now. So we haven't had any problems this year. I mean, the boat ran good. I mean. It's a flawless system. It's really good. I recommend it. I hope a lot of race boats put them on here pretty soon. So.
That's pretty sweet. So you did quite a bit of research.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of years doing this. What we did. I mean, and this year we've actually turned the heads to every probably boat racer in the country right now this year. I mean, a lot of people like it. I've dealt with people out of Europe with it right now, and I got people in Florida all around the country that want to buy this unit right now. But I haven't really wanted to sell it yet until I feel that I'm up to the ace with it right now. And I think this year we proved it right now through the racing circuit this year. I mean, we did really good with the boat, and like I said, we've turned every racer in this country to look at it. So.
Yeah. Well, what got you interested in offshore racing?
Like I said, back in the years, I was involved with race cars and stuff like that, and I always liked racing. And I got into the boat racing and out in California, and like I said, I got back here and I purchased that boat, and it was just something I like. I always like racing, I like being out in the water. I like that. It's a good family event too. I mean, it's just
a rush.
Yeah, it's a rush. I mean, if you get in that boat, I mean, you get in, it's just a whole different world. And you can sit in your car and you can get into buttons. When you get into something that your adrenaline gets going, you don't know if you're going to come back really. I mean, sometimes it gets pretty scary out there. You hit waves and you hit 40, 50 feet in the air running at 100 miles or 90 miles an hour, and you don't know if you're going to come back or even come back alive, So it's something, it's pretty dramatic out there. I mean,
Yeah, I visited your website before, and if you want to give the crowd or the audience your website.
Yeah, our website's www.thepressureson.com. There's a lot of information on there. You can link yourself over to other racing, what's going on with the racing, other racing circuits, other racing teams. There's a lot involved. There's a lot of stuff that's going on there. You can join. It's a big family event thing. I mean, if you want to get involved with the Racing Association, club membership, there's so much out there for the people. I mean, there's so many people that don't have anything to do, and we got a lot of volunteers that show up for these race sites. And I mean, have you ever been to any of the races, offshore races?
No.
And this year in St. Clair, we've had over, I think it was 70 boats that showed up all around the country for this event this year. And it was one of the best events that we had in the country this year at the St. Clair race. And it's just something, more and more people get involved with it right now.
So on your website earlier, like I was saying, I've seen some pictures of the air that you guys get, and you guys get pretty high up there. You said earlier that your boat can hit like 130-ish. What do you feel is the max speed that you guys can?
Well, the boat can run 100 miles an hour, up to 100 miles an hour, but our class is 80 miles an hour. We're in a Performance 4 class. I mean, the boat can run as fast as you want to put as horsepower and propping on it that you can go. My safety feature in it is to run at 80 miles an hour. That boat, I don't think you can run it over 80 miles an hour in an actual race because it's small, it's short, it's narrow. I think the peak performance for what we got is 80 miles an hour for our class, and which does really good. We've proved it this year, beating a lot of the big boats, and I mean, you can change things from the speed, like I said, but it's comfortable at the speed we're at right now with it.
All right. What kind of engine do you have?
We run a 700 horsepower Baker racing engine. They're out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it's aspirated. It runs on a high octane fuel. It's compressed motor. It's probably the best engine we've had here in the series this year. I mean, the motor ran good. I got to compliment the Baker Racing Engine Company for doing it. Just nothing broke this year. It was just it was nice to go on the race site where you have to touch nothing. Just go and put your uniform and go out and race and get back and not have to wrench on nothing, not have to do anything on the boat. So that's where we're at this year with this boat. It was really nice not to do anything with the boat, the outdrive, the motor, nothing. It was just wash it and go to the race and sell some T-shirts and mingle with the people, and that was great. It was a good motor.
That's good. How many races do you think you attend a year?
The racing circuit has a lot of races. There's so many organizations. They have the Florida organizations, they have OPA, SBI, the APBA Association, Great Lakes Silver Cup Series. Our association has 5 to 6 Great Lakes Silver Cup races that we did this year, and we hit every race except the Algonac race. Fortunately, we were putting the rudder, and we made a miscalculation on rudder height, so we ended up pulling out of the race so we wouldn't have any safety or accidents in the boat. But we could probably enter 13 to 14 races a year, but we chose the Great Lakes Silver Cup Series this year because it was an event that we wanted to win High Point Championship. There's a lot of money involved with it this year. And I think next year with the new boat we got and the other boat that we got right now, we're going to probably run the whole national circuit and probably most of the APBA events. Whatever's out there, we're going to promote our boat to probably every race in the country next year. So.
All right. Are there any more races this year left or no?
Yeah, they just had the Cameron P class races, the national races this year. I mean, last week we didn't want to hit that race. We want to go for the World Championship races, which in Key West, Florida, November 14th through the 21st. And I think our goal is to hit that race this year and possibly win the championship. I mean, we'll probably finish in one of the 2 or 3 top spots right now. That's where we've been finishing all this year. And there's a lot of boats, but they'll probably show up 130 boats at that race, so it's going to be a big event. People from all around the world will be showing up for this race. It'll be like the UMI people from Europe, Japan, all kinds of people will be showing up for this race. So.
Do these races usually, are they like a one-day thing or like 3 or 4? Or?
Well, most events, if a national event starts off on Thursday, you get a lot of the boats, which they got their rigs. There's a lot of people that show up, so probably the guys with the semis, the big rigs will show up on a Thursday, set their stuff up, do their testing. They have their speed trial runs on Saturdays and stuff like that. So it's a pretty big, yeah. So the races are probably 4 to 5 days. Divisional races are shown up for 3 days. You get up there on Friday and you race on, possibly Saturday or Sunday. But I mean, each race is different. Each boat team's, whatever they want to do, they show up there. If they want to sell the material and stuff, and whatever they got, it's an individual pick of what they want to do.
All right. You're on the team called The Pressure's On. How many people make up your team?
A lot. I mean, it's a lot. I have my family, wife, my kids, crew chief, Kurt Randolph. We have my driver, a lot of crew people, Brett. Just so many people are sponsors. So it's just a lot of people that make effort to put there. I mean, we couldn't do it. I couldn't do it by myself. I mean, there's so many. There's the getting rooms booked. There's getting the boat ready. I mean, there's so many crew people that help out, make sure the boat's clean before we leave, because we run a top-notch organization, and it's just if we didn't have the help, I mean, there's probably 30, 40 people involved with the whole association that make the thing work. So it's quite a bit. I mean, it's a lot of leg work, a lot of PR work. Meeting the fans. I mean, we sign posters at the race site, so it's a lot to be set up to get it done.
It's pretty sweet. What kind of safety equipment do you wear when you're on the boat?
This is our life jacket we have right here. This is for in the canopy. So what this is, say you do go under, you can breathe, pop these cases out, pop it, so this will pull you up right here. When you pop these open, I hate to pull them out right now because they'll blow up, but this is what we wear in the canopy boat. This is it. This is all we have. Then we have our oxygen bottles that are mounted behind us. That's for breathing. In case we do go under, we have some air to breathe with, and then we usually have a leg-mounted one too. In case we do go under, we can suck that up and head up to the, in case we do, nobody's there to get us, we can breathe under like scuba diving. So we have that unit too. And our other feature we have, like I said, is our helmet here. And we have our monitor system, which is very important. This boat we have right now is so loud. It's ear piercing, so we have a custom headset that's built in here, so I can talk to the driver in the boat. We can communicate, say going around the corners, regardless through the course, we can always communicate with each another and say, hey, are you all right, or whatever. And this is a big factor to having a communication system. So these are safety features that we have, and basically the other safety features we have is the canopy that's over the boat that protects us, which is a custom-made canopy that I designed too. And basically I got some of the ideas from the Oki Manifest people over in Europe too, which was their design for the canopy, but I kind of just reinforced it, made it a little bit better in case we do flip. The aerodynamics of the canopy can cut the water off you, and there's a lot of good safety features towards the boat. So
how does a typical race day start off?
It's long. I mean, you can, like you said, you get there Thursday or Friday, you set your boat up, you find your designated area, you deal with a lot of, there's so many people at these races. I mean, some of them show up with 50 to 100, 200,000 people at a race site. So a typical day for us is getting to the race site, setting our rigs up, meeting the people, signing posters, selling T-shirts. We got drivers meetings where there's testing times. Say on a Saturday we get up, we have to be at our driver's meeting. It's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Then you do your testing. You have drug testing and stuff like that. So it's a long day, and sometimes you don't get done until 8, 9 o'clock. I mean, you got dinner banquets and stuff like that. So each day is pretty is different. Then you got Sunday race day is probably the most, you know, nervy day. Yeah, because you got the whole week, and then you're getting ready, and you're seeing all the race teams out there that you got to deal with, and it's a competitional thing. And so Sunday morning is pretty hectic. I mean, you get the chilies going, and you get to your driver's meeting, and then when you get in that boat, you start getting nervous and stuff. And I mean, it's pretty wild. I mean, me and my driver work together pretty good. Getting prepared for the race, and once you get out there, everything's fine. Once you get the boat going and the speed's going, and you're right back to where you're at before, so it's pretty neat.
What exactly is it like to drive the boat?
Well, my driver's not here right now, but he's a big guy. He's 200-some, probably 275 pounds, and it's time we get done with that race, that guy's tired. I mean, we get beat up pretty bad. We're sideways. I mean, literally that boat's sideways sometimes 30, 40 feet in the air. I mean, running at 80 miles an hour, and it's pretty rough. I throttle the boat. I mean, I get as much beat up as he does, and we have a gas throttle in the boat, which I like to, because then you can hold on to the boat without using a hand throttle. I got a foot throttle that I designed in the boat, so it's a lot easier to hold on in the boat with the gas pedal. So, I mean, for him, I could speak for him, it's pretty rough. I've never drove the boat ever. I built that boat, I never drove the boat ever. Anybody that's been in the boat, I throttled it or I let somebody drive it. So I couldn't really tell you the driving, but I watched the guy. It's a pretty rough job. Can
just anyone get involved in offshore racing?
Yeah, anybody. I'd like to see. That's what we try to promote, is get people involved in offshore racing. I'd like to see more people get involved with it, but I think through the years, I'd like to see more people involved with boats that want to get and try it. Get involved. Call the association. Call the Blue Water Offshore Racing Association. Call the Great Lakes Silver Cup Racing. Call our website. Get on our website and check it out. We need volunteers all the time. There's so much that we need for the association to do it. I mean, I recommend somebody calling in. You can actually get in and if you think you can drive a boat or throttle a boat, try to get a hold of a race team. Talk to a race team. Tell them what you can do. I mean, there's always people out there that are interested in getting somebody on the team. That's how Craig, the driver, got with me. I ran into him back in the early 90s, and when we were racing out in Bay City, and he got a hold of me. I never met the guy in my life, and said he wanted to get on a race team, So he ended up crewing with me, and he was an excellent crew chief, and I had a couple spots, and one day he called me up, and I says, hey, I need some help on developing a boat, and every day he's been there since. I gave him the driving position. Now he's the driver of the, probably one of the most, radical boats in the circuit right now. So,
is there any way that people can find out more about your team or any other team, or how to get involved in offshore racing? Yeah,
you can get on our website, like I said, and you can talk to us, call us, we email, you can get a hold of all the associations. I mean, there's a lot you can do. I mean, there's so much information out, but you gotta make that phone call or get on the computer and check it out.
Is there anywhere else other than just a computer where we would find out when a race is going on?
Well, the information's on there if you want to check the websites. They got the St. Clair race, they got the Algonac race. I think this year they might have the Port Huron race there. I think APBA is putting the Port Huron race here this year too. So the newspapers, there's races all over the country. I've seen people travel everywhere. From Michigan, go to Florida, they go to Texas. I mean, we're all over the country doing this racing. So, I mean, it's pretty funny seeing some people from your local towns showing up to these races. So that shows you how involved some of these people are that just like to go watch it and leave their hometown just to go see a boat race, because it's so neat. I mean, the people that show up, and and it's pretty cool.
Does it cost anything to get in to see a race, or no?
Nope, all our events are free. I mean, every offshore race is free. We look for sponsors that put on our races right now. So what we do is we dedicate ourselves to put on a free race for everybody in any city. And what promotes our races is our sponsorship. We spend a lot of our time as race teams ourselves to promote the sport. And there's a lot of time, we don't make any money on this stuff, maybe a little purse prize here and there, and that's it. But we do a lot of this stuff for free, just for the fun of it. And it's not a money sport right now, but hopefully maybe one day. But like I said, it's something where, you know, it's just a lot of dedication, dedication for the people, the kids. We're more for the kids. Our boat is for the kids. We spend a lot of time with school events. All kinds of stuff for the local events. I mean, it's pretty neat.
Is your boat pretty bright colors like that, or?
Yeah, our colors. Yeah, I did a pretty wild paint job on. I've always liked the Arctic Cat snowmobile colors,
Yeah.
so I actually got with the Arctic Cat, and I kind of got their colors and just gelled some really wild paint job on it. And all our rigs are painted like that. Our trucks, our crew suits, everything that we got is our promotional stuff's all painted the same colors too, so it's pretty wild.
That's really cool. Does it like catch the eye of the opponent and throw them off a little, you think?
We probably have the most radical paint job on the boat right now than any other boat in the country. We were voted Race Team of the Year this year, and our rigs too and everything else. So we had our color aspects worked pretty good. So.
All right. Well, congratulations on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm out of questions now, but. All right, well, that's it for Focus On. Thank you, Tony, for coming out today.
Well, thanks a lot. It was nice talking to you.
All right, you gave us a lot of information. I'm your host, Robbie, and you have a nice day.